You talk about the benefit of having a fake but real life sex doll. And then on top of that is when you're done having sex with him and you're done talking to him, you can just throw him in the closet for storage and you never have to look at him for the rest of the day.
Right quick. Is the doll a him?
We're here. Back in your ear this morning. I want to go ahead and I want to apologize right off the bat. Oh, look at the screen too. The mics even look better on the screen. See how we're
we can actually see the peaks, bro.
Yeah.
We're in there now.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to apologize for is the first 3 episodes we thought we were getting better and better with the sound quality of the mics. Turns out it was really just a little bit better, but not much. It was still pretty fucking quiet. So
it was way better sound quality if you had headphones.
Yeah, if you had headphones.
Or like a speaker.
Yeah, or a
but
big
off
speaker.
Of a basic phone, we realized it was a bit difficult to hear us.
Yeah, especially if you had an iPhone, and like I do, and you take it in the shower all the time, and your sound quality's already fucking bad, and then you got to listen to bad sound quality on a bad phone, then it sounds like shit altogether. So we're gonna try to talk a little bit louder today. We turned up our mics almost as high as they can go, so they should be picking up every little thing that we say. And I would much rather have you guys have to turn us down to watch us than have to turn us all the way up and still barely be able to hear us. So now that the apologies out of the way,
sorry for the wait.
Yeah, sorry for taking so long. And I feel like we probably would have had a little bit more views, or people would have probably finished watching the podcast if they could have actually fucking heard us. So
no, they finished. I like to appreciate the success. I think we had like 100,000 views in the first couple days.
Yeah.
Mad love, much appreciated. Keep it up, Spencer. Special congratulations to you, brother, on that Jeep. You want to tell me about it?
Well, I had bought vehicles in the past, and I always had bad luck with vehicles. Knock on wood for this one. But after I sold a truck a while back, and I was borrowing, my brother's cars off and on and stuff like that to get around and helping them pay insurance on it like that to kind of like show my worth. And I got to the point where recently I decided that I was gonna buy my own vehicle, and I got a fucking steal. I found I wanted a vehicle I could travel in. I wanted a vehicle I could load up and put cameras in and put the dogs in and take off and go wherever the fuck I wanted to go. Load up tents and bags and my friends and anything I wanted to do. And I found
take this bitch to the end of the world, huh?
Yeah,
the end of the map.
Exactly. And I found And I found a Jeep Commander. It was like a 2006. It's not super new, but it's only had one owner. It was super good condition. And talked the dude down. I pulled a trick I learned from my grandfather. Rest in peace, miss you. But he always said, if the price isn't what you want, tell him what your price is. Tell him to write your name down, and then sit and wait. It's almost like fishing. And so I called the guy, and he said, "Oh no, he almost wanted $7,000 for it." And I said, "Oh well, I can't do that. The best I can do is $5,000 cash. And but if you get tired of looking at it, here's my name and my number. You call me back." And about 20 minutes later, I get a call, and he's got that like grumpy old man voice, and it was at a dealership, and well, I've been crunching numbers, and I think I can give it to you for about $5,000. So I drove down to Hendersonville, and I test drove that thing. I test drove that thing.
And it ran like jelly.
Yeah.
Classic.
And but everything turned out to work great. So there's hardly any fucking flaws in it. Just some little cosmetic stuff on the inside from it
fucking looks good. It was a good buy, and it was a good Jeep. He's over here nitpicking. It's a good buy, dude. It's a good buy.
But yeah, I'm super excited about it. Speaking of things and shout outs to be excited about, you now have 6 days, sir.
Oh yeah, it's official.
No, 5 days. Sorry, 5 days.
We
now.
got the time in. Now it's official. I called them and they gave me the schedule and all that. It's gonna be Saturday night is the rodeo.
Yep.
And I'm hyped, dude.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky Fairgrounds. This man is going to get on a 200,000 pound bull.
200,000 pounds. Huge.
That's going to be jumping around and slamming his head around. This guy has never rolled in the bull before, so this is his very first time. But if some miracle happens and he can last 8 seconds, he's taking home $1,000.
It's pretty intense. And the dude I work with made me feel a lot better because I was talking to him about it because I got quite a few people probably coming to check it
Right.
out. 7:30 at the fairgrounds in Hopkinsville Saturday. Be there or be square. The whole thing is, I was like, man, what if all these people come and then I get knocked off within like the first 1 second out the chute or 2 seconds? And he's like, dude, man, he's like, just you getting on the thing. He's like, if I see you on the bull, he's like, you've already got my respect.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, good. Hopefully, because think about it, if all these people do come and it's a big hype and then I do get knocked off right out the chute, like I'd feel a little let down. But the truth is, like, it is a little nerve-wracking.
It takes balls.
You know what I'm saying?
It takes balls.
So hopefully it all goes well though. But I mean, the goal is the 8 seconds. That's the goal. First right off the bat, because like if I do it the first time, dude, I don't ever have to ride a bull again. I could be like, yeah, that was easy.
Or what you could do is you could ride the 8 seconds, prove to yourself that you're a natural bull rider, win the $1,000, go back next year and defend your title. Because how many guys do you think are going to go do it, number one, and how many of those guys that go do it do you think are actually going to stay on? If I was you, dude, and it might psych some people out, but if I was you, I would fucking just study bull riders. Mm-hmm. The best bull riders in the world, I would study them, and I would find out what their little nicks are that they do to stay on that bull for so fucking long.
And I've kind of taken notes on it already. The whole thing is like I've been watching videos nonstop on the topic already. But like when I see guys, when they're on the bull, if they can keep their hips and ass above the front shoulders, they do a lot better. It's when they get slung to the back of the bull, when that ass comes back up, then they're getting slung around.
Right.
So if I can stay tight on my rope, that's something that they stress. If I can stay tight on my rope, I mean, I have better chances.
And whatever you do, don't let muscle take over and grab it with your other hand.
Yeah, I know. That's a big thing. I've been trying to mentally get myself into the fact of like I'm not going to just let go, because like in my head, like I'm afraid of as soon as it's out the chute, I'm just gonna switch to survival mode and just like, okay, I did it, now I'm done. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I want to like stay on the bull and not quit until I'm like 100% knocked off.
Absolutely. You don't want to let go of that bull until you're ready to. Like you want to get the 8 seconds and then, all right, motherfucker, I rode you, and then
that's
you
the
can
scary
get off.
part too.
Yeah.
I think about it, if I do last 8 seconds, getting off the thing.
You ever seen the guys, dude? The scariest part, like I said, I had some family members before that used to watch PBR. That's professional bull riding. For those of you who don't know, it's not Pabst Blue Ribbon, but professional bull riding. And some of those guys who are really fucking good, they're professionals. Sometimes they tighten their fucking rope way too much and they can't get their hand out. So sometimes they get bucked off. Their fucking arm is still stuck in the damn rope, and they're just getting kicked around and fucking bounced around. And the clown's got to like try to like jump on the bull and get their hand out or try to pull the dude away. Mm-hmm. And the whole time the bull is trying to get the dude. I mean, he's kicking and fucking throwing his head around. That's scary. Yeah. It's scary business because not only could you get hit by the bull, but you could also get your fucking hand broken.
You can get hoofed, you can get horned. I mean, the possibilities are almost endless when it comes to it. So it is a little bit nerve wracking, but I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that like I'm ready for it to happen. Not because I want it to be over with, but because like I'm ready to get on it. Like I'm anxious. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what is a good opportunity right now. We're not going to take a poll because we don't have enough fucking followers to take a poll. But for those watching, Bill and Howard, we want to ask you guys, what do you think is scarier? Climbing 200 plus feet in the air, unprotected, no ropes, no gear, with a possible fear of heights, and electricity. You know, whatever you're climbing on, it just don't climb in a fucking storm. But what are you more scared of? Heights or getting on the back of a bull and trying to ride a bull for 8 seconds?
Because we've done some pretty gnarly things, being climbing high. Yeah. One of them, we climbed a high object.
We've climbed pretty high.
And then the conversation was, which one is more gnarly, riding a bull or climbing that high? So, I mean, if we do get some results, that'd be pretty tight.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I was thinking would be so
I would
tight?
like to know.
Yeah, as would I. Multiple opinions. What would be so tight, dude, is if we could get like a live phone and like take live calls, dude, because I bet most of them would be trolling. I bet people would be like, talking trash. But
for sure.
But it would be so awesome. It would be funny.
Well, so you mean like Colin? What is it? What's the guy's name? He's on Fox Sports 1. He does the Coward. His name's Coward. Something Coward.
His name is
Coward?
something
Coward. Yeah, or Cow. It's spelled like Cowherd, but you pronounce it Coward. But anyway, he does a sports talk show. And he talks about everything going on in sports, and then he has phones where he can call in, ask people questions, almost like Jared and the GM, except we're doing it with video.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
obviously they would be able to see us talking, but yeah, I mean, think about all the times that you sat and you listen to that show, and Jared and the GM are talking about the Titans, they're talking about the Predators, they're talking about stats, they're talking about memories, or they're talking about what's the word, predictions on games or players, or how things are going to go out throughout the season or in certain games. And then they ask questions, and you have guys call in and they just bullshit around, and then you got Jared will end up cutting them off like boop, right in the middle of the fucking general talking, or the GM talking.
Yeah.
Won't even let them finish because they're calling in their bullshitting the whole time.
Heckling and getting aggressive and all that. But dude, I gotta applaud him because
you're an idiot.
I seem like he always handles it well. He always gets it back to track.
I bet he didn't at first.
I bet he didn't at first. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would like to get good at. But I'm saying our views would go from 100,000 in the first day to like 1 million in the first day. I'm not kidding, dude. We would if we had a live number, we'd be like, all right, call this number right here.
Right.
And then we were talking with people. Dude, it would be a lot more interactive, and people would jump on.
I would love to. I would love to be more interactive. One of the things I want to do to be more interactive is if we can catch a little bit of traction, and all that depends on you guys and us. It's a 50-50. I want to get better. I want to be a better podcaster. I want to be a better talker on the mic. I want to be able to involve the audience. I want to be able to involve people, guests that we bring on, because we are planning on bringing guests onto the show. To make it a little bit more interesting, I know some people probably don't mind getting on and listening to us bullshit with each other, but I know some people want to get on and they want to hear us talking to other people, and they want to hear, the opinions of others, not just, us bullshitting, because eventually it'll get to the point where we're going in circles and talking about the same old shit, which is okay to, loyal fans, but, people who tune in, they want to see us talking to other people and see what, what's going through the minds of other people that maybe they care about, or people that maybe have some traction of their own. But, yeah, you guys, the other 50% is definitely on you guys. If there's something you don't like about us talking, or there's something that, for right now, with such little views and such little followers as we have, we can definitely take the time to look at comments, what you guys think would make things better. We're obviously not going to listen to everything, because this is our show and we're going to do what we want to do. But if it's constructive and we can, help make this show better for you to watch, it's something that we're definitely interested in. But also what I was getting at was I want to go live. Eventually, catching traction would be great, but I want to go live where you guys can get on early in the morning when we're doing this. If you're on your way to work, if you're, getting off work, if you work night shift, where you can tune in and listen to us BS with each other or bring on guests, and I would like that. I would like to be more interactive and give something better for people to listen to.
Yeah.
But calling in is definitely a good idea, because honestly, I would be pretty fucking entertained by some of the things that I'm sure people would fucking say.
Because like I said, dude, the majority of it would be nonsense.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that would bring views. People would be like, "Oh, this show is funny, bro. You could call these dudes and kick the shit with them."
Although we just got to get really good at talking shit, because the better we are at talking shit, the better we'll be at people talking. Because if they call in and they're talking shit, I'm shutting you down. Just so you know, I'm heckling back. You're not going to come on my show and put me down.
Every argument
exactly.
In the most clever way, just to put the other one down. That'd be good.
So no matter what happens, it's 2v1. Just remember that.
That's right. Unless they got two people on their line.
Nope, you're only allowed one. You're only allowed one. If you put more than one person on the mic, I'm fucking cutting you off. That's period.
Two voices. All right, call back next.
We're gonna start a poll within the next week on one of the upcoming episodes of what men like better: realistic sex dolls or human girls.
I like it.
I'd like to find out what people think.
The results are surprising.
Yeah, you'd be honest. A lot of men you would think would like a real woman, the touch of a real woman, the voice of a real woman, the interaction and the connection you have with a real woman. But then you find out these sex dolls not only look like real women, but they only talk. They're robotics, by the way. Robotics are in them. So you can talk to them, and they only talk when you talk to them.
Bro, if it gets nuts to the point where, like, they're talking to you, but then they're also, like, making you food, bro.
I tell you what.
There's some competition out there now. I'm just saying.
The advantages and the plus side. Wow, my voice cracked. The advantages and the plus side.
The mic.
It was the mic. To fake these robotic, these real life sex dolls is that they only talk when spoken to. They only speak when spoken to.
Oh God, that must be nice.
Yeah, you talk about the benefit of having a fake but real life sex doll, and then on top of that is when you're done having sex with him and you're done talking to him, you can just throw him in the closet for storage, and you never have to look at him for the rest of the day.
Right, quick. Is the doll a him?
Did I say him?
You said. I think you were saying them, but it almost sounded like him.
I think I was trying to say them. If I said him, you know who I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking.
All right,
about.
watch out.
That work order doll.
That's right.
Classic.
But no, and then, the disadvantages, I would say the advantages to a woman would definitely be, I can't even say that because, like so many women out there, you can't have intellectual conversations with them. And in the defense of women, there's a lot of guys out there too that you can't have intellectual conversations with. But like being with a real person, obviously, there's no comparison. But for people who are single or angry older men who have they just been run through the ringer. They married those women that were super fucking hot, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna take this to fucking Pound Town, and I'm gonna marry this bitch, and I'm gonna be with her forever, and I'm gonna have kids with her, and I'm gonna let her meet my parents, and I'm gonna do all these things. We're gonna buy a house together. We're gonna travel the world. Next thing you know, he
makes good money.
She's fucking the neighbor. She's fucking the neighbor.
And then she gets half of his shit.
And then she gets half the money. Then she gets more time with the kid than he does, even though without him there would be no kids. Right. He's 50% of everything, but she gets sometimes not even 50%. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's more than 50%. You hear this what's his name? The basketball player plays for I believe he plays for the Clippers.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I can't recall his name, but like
I can't either. I can't.
Does she get like $100K?
I can't think. Yeah, no. He's an NBA player, and obviously he makes good money. He's a starter, so he's bringing in the dough. But they got a divorce, and she gets $250,000 a fucking month.
A month, dude.
What fucking kid needs $250,000 to take care of? Blake Griffin, that's his name. Thank you. Our roommate Josh coming in clutch.
Good man. He's our tech guy.
It's what?
$3 million per year.
Okay, here we go. So now we got new information. We need to get this guy a computer out here.
That's right.
This is what's going on. So Blake Griffin went through a divorce, separated from his wife. I believe, definitely they have children together. I don't know if it's one or multiple, but $250,000 a month. $3 million a year. She's making more money than some NBA players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's making more money than the athletes.
I'd be pissed off if it was $250K a year. I'll be honest with you. That's still a lot of money.
That's
dude.
a lot of fucking money.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and do the math because I can't. That's a lot of money a month. Holy crap,
Calculator.
Dude. Calculator. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's nuts. You think about like just the nerve, man. And a lot of the times, like especially when you're with someone of that altitude.
Right.
Dude, you're not doing anything yourself. What does she do? I bet she was a stay-at-home mom. You don't need to. Your husband is an NBA player.
Well, I tell you what.
That's $20,000 a month.
$20,000 a month.
That's a lot of money, dude.
I mean, my parents got divorced, and it has its faults, no doubt about it, and both are to blame. But I think my dad had to pay at one point. Ooh, excuse me. Morning shivers. I think at one point my dad had to pay like $600 a month to help my mom take care of me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, in my head, that's a whole lot of money, when you're younger. And then when you get older, it's still a decent chunk of change, definitely, to help take care of a child. But then I started thinking about it as I got older. I was like, dude, on top of my father having to pay $600 plus, I think it was honestly like $625. I want to say it was the exact number. I was able to see some checks as a kid, but memory is a little hazy. But $625 a month, on top of paying car notes, on top of paying for jet skis and boats that he had, on top of paying house notes, on top of buying groceries, on top of working. Yeah, and my dad's got a lot of tattoos. I mean, not only paying his necessities for life, but trying to pay for the things that give him happiness in life. And on top of that, he had to pay $625 to my mother to help keep me satisfied or me taken care of. And then he got me 50% of the the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the other half, he had to take care of me. So then he was spending
Yeah.
just as much money on me as she was, and then he was paying for her to do the same thing, but with his money.
I mean, and the system is put there for a reason, because I mean, truth be told, kids are expensive.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Kids are expensive.
Yeah,
But when
hands
you
down.
get to
I'm
the
not
point-
saying they're not, right?
Yeah, when you get to the point though, $250,000 a month, like,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous, dude.
It's uncalled for.
Yeah.
And I know it's because I think the mindset of the people who put the laws in place or take these actions against the fathers are looking at it from an income standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Based off what my dad was having to pay, it was probably, a relatively, I wouldn't say fair amount, but it was probably relatively fair based off his income.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into it, the more money you make, you're talking about ridiculous amounts of money that women are getting, because it doesn't happen the other way around. It doesn't happen like, the man marries the woman and, they may have an equal job, where one's making $60,000 a year, the other one's making $60,000 a year, and then the woman cheats on the man and the man files for divorce. He still has to pay child support. So not only does he lose...
Is that really how it is?
Yeah.
What if he got custody? What if he gets custody of the
Well,
kid
you can
most of
definitely
the
fight
time?
it. You can fight it. But
like,
yeah.
if he got custody most of the time, would she have to pay him?
I would think so.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I doubt it's going to be black and white like
But see, a lot of states aren't fair like that, because a lot of states, you have to prove you can go and be like, I'm the mother, and I'm not saying this because I'm not speaking out of my ass here. I'm speaking only off of experience, based off what friends and family members have had to go through with their parents. And in my experiences, I have noticed that the woman can do wrong. They will go to court. They will get a divorce. She will get 50% of custody. He will get custody. Sometimes they're able to work it out, but if they disagree, I think it goes into the hands of the court and they work it out. But unless the dad, because some states are like are dad right states, I think they call them, where the dad is just important as the mom. But then there's a lot of states out there where when they go to court, the father has to prove that the mother is a crackhead and sells drugs and beats her kids before the court will give custody to the dad.
Yeah.
He will always be on the losing side. Not all states. I think Tennessee is one that they care a little bit about what's going on with the dads, because I know we know somebody that we were close to at one point, and the father won custody just based off the fact that there was proof of the woman physically abusing him, and he divorced her, and he took her to court, and he won full custody of their son. And just based off her actions. So I know for a fact that there are cases where the father wins, but I definitely think it's a fair assumption to make that the odds are in the woman's favor. And I don't think that's fair, because it takes both of you. Yes, women, I give you all the utmost respect, because you carry the child for 9 months, and the child has no opportunity to develop into a live human being without you. But without the father, there is no chance of that either. There's no chance of that either. So I definitely think it should be a 50-50 thing, and it should be case-by-case basis. It shouldn't just be, well, she's a woman, and she's pretty.
And the truth is, probably 90% of them is all in the favor of the women. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say, because it's hard to, I don't know if it's just based off, and I know this might sound, it seems like today we're getting on touchy subjects, and that's fine.
Maybe we need a little bit of spice to the show.
That's fine with me.
What I mean?
Maybe give somebody a reason to comment and call me a fucking asshole or something like that. But that's okay, because I don't care. I don't care. But I definitely think that even if the woman is in the wrong, it's almost like when you're growing up and you have siblings, and the older brother or the older sister is the one that fucked you up and hurt you, but you get in trouble because you were the one horsing around and you shouldn't have been horsing around with older kids. That's bullshit, because you fucking hurt me. My older brother threw me down the stairs one time, and I got in trouble because I wasn't in my room. The fuck?
You broke the drywall with your head.
The what kind of shit is that? What in the damn fuck is going on here? But yeah, and he got no punishment. It was all okay. You know, hey, next time you throw him down the stairs, make sure you angle him towards the couch so he doesn't hit the wall. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't break anything. But no punishment for you. But I got my ass whooped and stuck in my room for 12 hours. That's probably not a lot. I think dinner was taken away from me too, or something like that. I don't know. I was probably maybe starved. I'm kidding. I think I ate all right. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. I went without food quite a bit.
It gets dicey though, man. There's no doubt about it. And to fend for yourself.
Yeah,
that's when you bought Axel, because it helped you take down.
Well, yeah, I tell you what. See, a lot of times nowadays, and I hear kids complain. Well, I got in trouble. Well, this fucking happened to me, and my mom did this to me. Let me tell you something. When I was back in my day, when I was a kid, when I got grounded, I didn't get stuck in my room. I got thrown outside, and I had to live in the woods until my mother was ready to let me back inside. That's what I had to do. And the reason why, and people tell me all the time, I have 2 pit bulls, by the way, and people tell me all the time, they say, why do you have these aggressive dogs? Man, they're so big and they're strong, and if one of them was to attack you or somebody else, you'd never be able to stop them, and they're bred to kill, and they're so aggressive. Well, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for my dog, I wouldn't be eating some nights, because there was nights where I was not fast enough to catch the squirrels. I wasn't, I didn't set traps right to catch birds. My shot was off with my bow and my arrow, and I missed the deer, but he always hunted them down. He always made sure I ate with him at night. I tell you what, and pit bulls, shout out to pit bulls, because those are the best dogs that anybody could ever have, hands down.
Should I call Lily Pad right quick? Look at her.
In defense of all mutts everywhere, Lily Pad's a pretty good dog.
She's a pretty good dog.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean it is funny, and I know I've seen the videos. That one where Axel climbed that 100-foot tree and got that squirrel for you. Yeah. I think he speaks English too. This dog is just phenomenal.
Yeah. He also ran down a coyote.
That's a true story.
Ran down a coyote, pulled the biggest coyote out of the pack and killed it. He didn't go after the weakest one. That's how you know the dog is strong-willed. Most hunters and predators will pick out the weak animal, and they will attack that one because they know it's an easier chance for a kill. But not my dog, not Axel. Axel went for the strong coyote. He went for the biggest. He went for the alpha male of the pack, and he fucked that thing up, and we ate good that night. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember too. And then, but it was almost like a backfire, because the rest of the pack considered him the pack leader now, because he took out the alpha.
And then the rest of the goddamn coyotes followed me around for 3 days while I was grounded outside.
Yep, happens like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was bullshit. It was definitely harder feeding the pack than just me and Axel.
Yeah. But it was a group effort now.
Luckily, though, on the bright side is when I was ungrounded and I was able to go back inside, Axel was able to go back inside and the pack followed. Well, the only way I could think to get the pack away from us, to try to break the scent so they couldn't find us anymore, was I jumped in the car and I was like, come on, Axel, we got to get out of here. Well, good thing that they were so intense on following their pack leader. They followed us right out into the road. The whole pack got ran over. Didn't have to worry about them anymore.
Work.
Yeah, and coyote meat is very good.
It's good. It's tender.
Yeah, not as gamey as you think it would be, especially not when it's, ground down and hit by a bunch of cars.
Well, that's why in some cultures the canines are just, they eat them so much.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because they're just good. It's good tender meat, not too stringy.
Yeah, dude, speaking of which, enough of the joking, but do you watch this fucking, a couple of weeks ago, or it might be a month ago now, the, somewhere, it's like Korea or China or something like that, they have the dog festival. And they just stray dogs on the street. They'll find them and they beat them to death and burn them and cook them. What you talk about making somebody sick, dude? That makes me sick to my stomach.
It does. It's disgusting. I don't know. Like, I bet the jokes. Like when you go to one of the restaurants, you're like, yeah, well, that's a cat.
Yeah,
that's a dog.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's ever happened.
I definitely think it's happened. Definitely.
Oh, dude.
You seen there's a video.
Truth be told, if it's cooked right, it'd probably taste good. I mean, to be honest with you.
Truth be told, dude, our last roommate was fucking bullshitting around. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
I tell you what, we overcooked a little bit, but he wasn't bad.
The feet were kind of a little bony, but like dude,
chicken feet.
But dude, those buttocks.
The back straps on that motherfucker.
That back strap was a good back strap.
But no, dude, and I think there was a photo. Yeah, I do too. But there was a photo that came out on Instagram or Facebook or one of the two, and it was a picture of. It was like the bags of meat that Oriental or Asian or Korean, Japanese restaurants get. And in the picture someone that was working in the kitchen probably wasn't cool with it, but noticed that they were cutting up a skinned frozen dog. They were thawing out a dog, but it still had like, it was skinned and everything, and the head was cut off, but you could clearly see it definitely wasn't a fucking cow. It was the very, very clear, defined shape of a dog. And the guy took a video of it, and then...
Well, did it have its feet? Did it have its paws?
No, the paws were cut off right at the wrist, or the bottom of the leg. I'm not sure if you call that a wrist on a dog, but yeah.
Whatever. I think they got a shoulder, an elbow, and a wrist. Yeah. I don't know what you would call it, but I think they had those 3 joints.
Yeah, if we were talking about it, I would definitely call it a wrist. But yeah, he took a video of it and he posted it on, I believe it was Facebook. That's where you find most of the fucked up shit is Facebook, all the shitty videos and stuff like that.
Shitty videos on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, but dude, it's just something. I don't know if it's about the people that are on Instagram or if it's about the people that are on Facebook. There's a difference between the demographic of the people that, or the audience of the people that are on Facebook and the people that are on Instagram, but fuck you people on Facebook, because y'all share some fucked up shit. It was last night, I was laying in bed scrolling down the thing, and there's this fucking guy that his dog lost a dog race, and he fucking put his collar on him and fucking was feeding him so the dog wouldn't pay attention to what he was doing, and he grabbed the back of his legs and picked the dog up over his shoulders and just slammed him like a sack of potatoes until he was dead. And I was like, why the fuck share that? Like, you're not, first of all, you sharing that video is not going to bring awareness to that fucking guy. He got away with it. It was probably in another country. No one's ever going to find him. You're just showing the shitty parts of the world to everybody and ruining my fucking night. I don't want to go to fucking bed thinking about that.
Dude, as soon as I see like anything that has to do with animals like being hurt, like dogs and stuff, especially, dude, I don't even give it a chance. I just scroll. I can't, because I know how much it's going to seriously ruin my day or my night. Like, I get so pissed. Yeah. Like, there was a group of dudes, and I don't know what the dog had done, but they, like, only thing I seen was, like, this big, like, massive stick. It almost looked like a 2x4, something like that. It was long, and they were just hitting this little dog with it. And I just kept scrolling.
Oh, bro, the worst one, the worst, hands down, that one with the racing dog, it was like those little greyhounds, those Weimaraner's or whatever they're called. That was one of the worst ones I've seen, but the one that made me the most angry was the small child. He was probably 8 or 9, maybe 10. He was little, sounded really feminine, so who fucking knows? He's probably underweight and was trying, I don't know. But his older brother fucking recorded him picking up the puppy because the puppy made a mess in the house and they were tired of fucking cleaning up, and they were too fucking immature to have a dog in the first place. They weren't responsible enough. They didn't know how to act themselves, so they definitely didn't know how to train a fucking animal. They get mad at it. The boy's recording the video, and he's like, I'm going to tell mom if you throw him in the water. They lived in Florida. Now, for people who may be watching or may watch this in the future and don't know about Florida, alligators are fucking everywhere. And if you go in the water in some places in Florida, there is signs, swim at your own fucking risk or don't swim at all because you're going to get fucking eaten, or you have a fucking 90% chance of losing a fucking limb because of an alligator. Now, the fucking boy who lives in Florida probably knew that and probably did this on purpose. He takes this tiny little fucking dog. I'm talking no bigger than, a tea jar, a tea pitcher. Little dog. Walks outside, the older brother recording it the entire time, and the boy takes the dog and fucking spins around 3 times and slings the puppy into the water. Within seconds, an alligator has grabbed that puppy and it's gone forever. And the puppy was so disoriented, he didn't know to swim back to fucking shore or swim back to the land. He had no idea what was going on, and he doesn't know that fucking alligators are in there. And the fucking alligator snapped him up just like that. Gone. And dude, if I would have been the neighbor of those 2 boys, I would be in prison right now, because I think I would jump into a fit of rage. I would probably throw one of them in that fucking water.
Well, that's
what
I was about to say. Maybe I'm the shitty person, because if I seen that, bro, this is Sparta.
Oh, fuck.
I'm kicking that motherfucker into the alligator water. I'm not kidding. If you threw the dog in there and I see it, and there's no fit of rage. It's just like, this dog is, especially if it was as small as you say it is.
Oh, it was little. It was a puppy. A puppy. It wasn't just a dog. It was a puppy.
This little puppy.
Yeah.
Is thrown into this alligator water. I'm kicking that kid, or I'm beating the shit out of that kid and then running before anybody else sees it. Like I hate the shit because, like I said, dude, we were talking about it. I grew up,
Yes.
Well, I grew up before that. Has nothing to do with the thing. Animal Planet all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Just like you and most of the people. Dude,
Before it got shitty.
Before I got shit.
Fucking Animal Planet sucks now.
Bro, I was like watching it. It's the only thing I ever seen was, emergencies, 911. Like they're coming and like saving some sort of dog, and I guess that stuff is cool, but it's not cool to watch.
It was cool. It was cool when they had the animal shows and they were educational and you were learning. And then the break in between those shows, because you can't show them all the time. The break in between was showing the lives of ASPCA and animal cops.
Yeah,
that was cool. And then you fucking people at Animal Planet turned it into goddamn Disney Channel and MTV, and now you got these reality shows and this fucking idiot dude. You seen the fucking cats go, My Cats from Hell or whatever, and it's this like wannabe rock and roll looking dude, and he goes around fucking training cats and shit. Nobody wants to watch you. You're not entertaining, and half the fucking shows on Animal Planet now aren't entertaining. I would rather go to National Geographic and watch fucking two rhinos mating and learn something than flick on fucking Animal Planet and watch some lady talking about how mean her cat was to her ex-boyfriend. I don't care.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous.
But anyway, what were you saying?
Bring back The Most Extreme.
Yep.
That show was amazing. You can't bring back, obviously, Crocodile Hunter, but that show was amazing. Maybe his son or
But Jeff Corwin, you can definitely bring dudes like him back.
I don't know what he's doing, but you could bring Jeff Corwin back.
Yep.
Dude, those shows were amazing, bro. Like, I remember I was thrown for such loot because they were doing the most dangerous cats of the world.
Yeah.
And fucking House Cat was number one. Like, not most dangerous, but I guess the most successful at hunting or whatever, or I guess pound for pound or whatever. Dude, that show was the shit, and they only had one season.
You know what's fucking weird to me? Speaking of, like, animals and shit, and this popped into my mind because I was talking about this with a friend of mine the other day. Okay, when you think about tabbies and house cats and fucking whatever, all the breeds that there are, you can go into the wild and track down wild cats. Okay, I spent some time in Kentucky. I grew up in my really young years in Kentucky, and if you're from Kentucky, then if you're from Kentucky and you know about Kentucky basketball, everybody knows about the Wildcats. I thought Wildcats was just a name, something that you called cats that were wild, like fucking feral cats. I didn't know that a wildcat was like a bobcat. A wildcat is another animal. It's not a bobcat. It's not a lynx. It is an animal that it looks like. All right.
Vinny, I'll call you back later. We're podcasting,
You're
brother.
fucking ruining shit over here. But they look like tabby house cats. They look like if you would go into somebody's house and you see a gray and brown and black striped fucking cat, that's what wildcats look like. And I was watching that fucking show. It was like North American Predators, and it was on that show. It was a wildcat running up a tree, catching a damn bird with his paw, grabbing it, bringing it back, and it was like had a little nest underground with kittens in it. And I was like, okay, this is where tabbies came from. This is where they started breeding mixtures of these wild cats and domesticating them.
Yeah.
I get it now. Okay, where the fuck did bloodhounds come from? Where did pit bulls come from?
It's intense, bro.
And people are like, well, they're descended from wolves. Okay, how did you fucking make it, though? You're telling me right now, descended from wolves, how did you get a beagle from a wolf?
Well, the whole thing is, like, you got all these species that are so specific in their size, their behavior, their intelligence, whatever, like their tracking abilities. They're so specific. But you still have wolves. They're all descended from wolves, but you still have wolves.
Yeah, but where are these other? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, where are the other ones?
I know what you're saying. It's like it don't make sense to me. It's almost as if they were made by something. We're not gonna get into that one. Not today.
We can take a fucking hard left turn and talk about conspiracy theories right now about where dogs came from.
The whole thing is just like, it don't make sense to me if they are all descended from wolves and you still have this perfectly. Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, because their bone structures, I assume, they're shaped the same way they were a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah.
But then you do got these bloodhounds, the basset hounds, the beagles, the pugs. Like, where does this come from?
Well, one of the questions that I want to know is, I don't think that I have ever seen an animal in the wild have floppy ears.
No.
I don't think I have. And you're talking about these creatures I'll call them creatures because if they came from something and they're not just from wolves and they bred them with something to make, different breeds and whatnot.
Creatures.
Yeah, creators. Where are the rest of them? Why don't we have like bones where like, oh, if you're wondering where your pit bull came from, 500 years ago, there was a breed of wild dog that was left that had, this type of body, the type of, butt cheeks on their head that pit bulls get and all that stuff. And they were short and they were stocky. And the way they hunted was they hunted in packs and they took down big fucking animals with their big, wide, square jaws and they locked onto them until the animal fell over and they shredded it apart. I mean, okay, all right, I get it now. I see where pit bulls come from. But then you have dogs where like German Shepherds. The German Shepherd is sort of an easy one for me to kind of like, okay, I can definitely see where that comes from a wolf. Mm-hmm. And then you see like old shows. If you watch like real old shows like Peaky Blinders and you can even go back to like medieval times and you can go back what's it called? Everybody fucking loves the damn show. It came on HBO at first and now it's everywhere. Fucking ice and wolves and...
It's based back in the day?
Yeah. Game of Thrones. That's what I'm thinking about.
Never seen that show.
Okay. And neither have I. Forgive me. But on Game of Thrones and like even shows like that way back then, there's like the Irish Wolfhound, where you see that big, tall, wiry-haired fucking wolfhound looking thing. If that was a fucking animal from way back then you can kind of see, okay, well maybe they bred this with a wolf and they got this, and maybe there was another one. But somebody, please watch this podcast and comment or send me a link on my Instagram, on my Facebook, something, and show me where fucking dogs came from. Because I honestly, I think about this like on a weekly basis, and I look at my dogs and I'm like, where'd you come from? You didn't come from a wolf. Fuck you. No, you didn't.
Yeah. And I get the aspect of, well, they just bred. They got this dog, and then they bred this dog with this dog, and then they just kept breeding these dogs, and then, you come up with this species, so to say. But then, like, dude, you got the shapes and the sizes. Like, you got Chihuahuas. Mm-hmm. And then you got, what are those dogs with the dreadlocks all over them? Those big, I think they're Asian.
They're like sheep dogs and shit.
They've got dreads, literal dreads. Yeah. It's like...
Well, yeah, if you don't comb them, they fucking dread up. Yeah, they'll knot up and shit.
It's nuts, dude. The diversity is nuts.
Bro, I'll be honest with you, dude. If there was a few dogs that I can think of off the top of my head that were probably wild, and yet they found them, I feel like Chihuahuas are probably like the tiny little dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, the one that run that girl down and they kill it, and the tiny little green ones. I feel like in Central America and South America, fucking Chihuahuas were running around the wild, and people got sick of them fucking running up and taking their chickens and whatnot, and they caught one of them, and they were like, listen, you're my pet now, bitch. Yeah. And they fucking trained it. And then now you have what you have today, which is shitty fucking rat dogs. I hate Chihuahuas. If you have a dog that's under... I'll even give you a like a wavering weight of 45 pounds. If you have a dog that's smaller than 45 pounds, in the great words of Ron Swanson, I believe, from Parks and Rec, you don't have a dog, you have a fucking cat, and cats are useless.
It's a cat.
It's a fucking cat. What does it do? If someone breaks into your house, you think a dog under 45 pounds is going to do shit? No. I'm going to beat the fuck out of that dog.
In the defense of people with dogs that are that small, I don't think they get them for home protection.
They probably don't. It's probably more for like emotional support or happiness or things like that. Yeah. Because I have one pit bull who's about 90 pounds, and I have another pit bull who's probably right around 50, I would say. And she's got real aggressive tendencies. But if that was the only dog I had and somebody broke into my house, she's getting kicked across the room. I can tell you right now. Because she'll probably bite. She'll probably try to protect me, but there's not much she can do with the weight she has. Now, Axel, on the other hand, is a different story. You might lose your throat. But
Axel is a beast.
We're
going to have him on the show one of these
my
days.
Little, chewing up the fucking mics and whatnot. But Kari, which is my smaller pit bull, she's sweet. She's the sweet one. She's the one that I want to hold and my little baby. Mm-hmm. That's the one that's the sweet, the cuddly one. Yeah. And then I have Axel, that's the one that I show everybody that's like, look how badass my dog is. I don't know. I think everybody has a different taste in dogs, but it doesn't veer from the fact that I want to know where the fuck dogs came from.
It don't make sense. Well, we still do have some wild dogs. You got the coyotes and you got the foxes and all this nonsense. But yeah, just as far as like the diversity goes and like the shapes and the species, and It's just I don't think they all came from one origin.
You know, a fucking wild dog. I don't either. But you know, a fucking wild dog that people don't talk about enough. That's scary as shit. And I only say it's scary because the things I saw on Animal Planet when I was a child and Discovery Channel is the fucking dingo.
The dingo, dude. The dingo took my baby. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Like if you type in the dingo took my baby, bro, it's like a huge. It's like it's not a joke because I guess it has happened so many times. But, like, that's a big thing in, like, Australia.
And hyenas. I don't even think hyenas classify as canines, as dogs, but they're fucking dogs. First of all, they look like...
I think they do.
They look like short-haired German shepherds with pit bull heads and horse necks.
They're like, their back legs are like this and their front legs are like that.
Yeah.
They're weird looking.
Yeah.
But German shepherds are like that, too.
Yeah.
They got short
just
legs
not
on
extreme.
back.
Not as extreme.
No,
like,
no.
the difference is not as extreme. But, yes, I agree. But both of those, they're if speaking on Animal Planet, I think it was Animal Planet, but the I'm Alive... The fucking I'm Alive show where they started talking about all these people and they're coming out with a new one, by the way, called I Was Prey. And it's different people's takes on when they were prey to big, scary, fucking wild animals. But there was two different ones. There was one where this couple went camping in Africa on a reservation with people with them, with guns to protect them, and hyenas snuck up. You know, you think you watch them on TV and they make noise all the time. These motherfuckers snuck up, cut a hole, sniffed a hole, chewed a hole or something, through a fucking tent. These people did not wake up, and the damn hyena drugged the dude out of the tent like 40 yards, just took off with him. And he said while he was being drugged, he woke up and he thought somebody was trying to wake him up. He didn't even realize what was going on, probably because adrenaline kicked in while he was asleep. And then he said when he came to, all he felt was 3 snaps. 2 hyenas bit him in 3 different places on his leg. Every bite broke a different part of his leg. And then the dingoes...
What is it, like 800, 900? How many pounds is it?
Well, I'm not sure. I honestly, you have to look it up real quick.
Because I know that it's some intense shit.
Because I think pound for pound, I bet the fucking hyena's got a stronger bite than the wolf and the bear and all that, and the lion and all that shit. Because it has a smaller mouth, but dude, it's wide. It has like, you know...
Bites that will completely destroy you. Then let me see... The lion has 600 pounds. The tiger has 1,050.
Bro, first of all, okay, hold on a second. Before you go any further, lions, you said lions have 600?
Yeah.
Okay, for those watching, I have a friend who has a dog called...
I don't know if I believe that.
Dog that is called the Kangal. Okay, some people, you can look it up. It's called the Kurdish Kangal, the Turkish Kangal, or you can just type in Kangal dog. Excuse me. This dog has up to 740 pounds of bite force per square inch or whatever, or in its mouth, whatever.
And they're fucking huge.
They're huge. They're like the males on average are about 120 to 130 pounds, and the females are right 100 pounds, 150 pounds. These dogs are specifically bred to kill bears, to kill fucking leopards and tigers and shit like that, and they will put them in herds of sheep and shit, and they won't touch the sheep. They only kill predators. They're not a predator. They're not going after fucking sheep trying to kill them and fuck them up. They will protect them, and they blend in with them because they're white and gray and like dark brown. They look like fucking sheep. They look like fucking goat, and they will hide. They will lay down just like the Great Pyrenees does. They'll lay down, and then when these wolves or these fucking pumas or these mountain lions come into this herd trying to snatch a fucking goat, these dogs as young as a year old will snatch a fucking mountain lion and fuck it up.
Absolutely
It does not fucking care.
And it's because of their mentality too, because they are huge nonetheless. But have you seen that video where it's with the lions?
Yeah.
Dude, compared to the lions, it's small. It's a huge dog.
No
but
doubt.
Compared to the lions, it's small. And this dog is like attacking lion after lion, like backing them up and
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if it's like technically the Middle East, but I did see a video that was from India. It was from a zoo / like reservation. You could go and watch the animals, but I think it was more of a reservation, a sanctuary, if you will, for tigers and lions and whatnot. They keep the lions and the tigers together. Now, when you have 2 alpha predators like that, every now and then you're going to have a fight for food. Doesn't matter if you feed them on separate corners. One of those fucking animals is going to go, fuck you, I want that big-ass fucking chunk of meat you're eating.
Yeah.
I'm not going over here to get this one. I'm taking yours. And that happens. They put the dogs in there during feeding time. Those lions and tigers know not to fuck with that damn dog. There will be 2 Kangals in an enclosure with 3 lions and 3 tigers, and one dog will jump on one of those big ass cats, and the cat will fight back. It'll have an attitude at first, but that dog will fucking grab a hold of it and jump around it. It's so much faster than they are, and it bites so hard, and it bites so many times more than they do. Before 30 seconds is up, the cats have had enough.
Well, like I said, it's a lot of mentality, because like probably one-on-one, the size difference, and like the strength and all that.
Oh, no doubt.
The lion would probably win,
no
obviously,
doubt.
but because of the strength and speed and just pure aggressiveness
it's tenacity,
of this dog, the lions are like, it's not even worth it. You don't want me to do this, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Yeah.
Like, and the dogs hold their own. It's fucking impressive. It really is, because the size difference alone. Is like night and day.
Talk about, it's not about the dog in the fight. It's about the fight and the dog. Because and you're right, dude. I think it honestly comes down to the mentality. Because if you look at dogs like house dogs, I had a friend of mine that had a Great Dane and had a rat terrier. It was like a rat terrier mutt kind of mixed looking dog. And the Great Dane, big, bred for killing boar, bred for being a guard dog, bred for being royal and protective and whatnot, was scared shitless of this little terrier. And I'm talking about one bite from that Great Dane, he probably could have ended that little dog's life anytime. But that dog was afraid of that little tiny terrier.
Yeah.
Because they grew up together, and the tenacity and the will of this smaller dog, its whole life, he beat down this bigger dog. So even though he's bigger, he still knows his place. He's like, okay, that's your shit. I'm not gonna fuck with you. So like for these cats, I assume it's the same way. Even though lions aren't like, or lions are like a pride animal. They're like a pack animal, kinda. But tigers are not. Tigers are solitary.
Yeah.
And so they hunt and they do everything by themselves until they mate. So you would think they wouldn't have that type of mindset, but those dogs almost train those cats to understand, if I come in and I tell you to fucking stop, you're going to stop. You don't have a choice.
They are absolutely nothing to be fucked with. There ain't no doubt about it.
I mean, those
tigers, by the way, 1050.
10,000. 10,500?
1,050.
1,050, okay.
Hyenas, 1,100. Pretty intense. Spotted hyena, grizzly bears. Gorilla, 1,300. Primate.
That's fucking scary.
Primate stepping in, dude.
What's up?
Hippo, 1,800. Hippo's different.
Dude, speaking of...
Jaguar, 2,000, bro.
Dude, jaguar... Okay, what is it? Jaguars, leopards, and mountain lions are the pound-for-pound strongest fucking cats in the world. Those fucking things will kill a 200-pound deer, bite it on the back of the neck, and climb up a fucking tree and eat it in the tree.
Oh, yeah. Carry him up.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
Yeah. A 200 fucking pound deer.
Yeah.
Antlers and everything.
I think they can do like, I don't know how many times, maybe 2 or 3 times.
You see the fucking you've seen the jaguar that jumps in the fucking water with the caimans, and they'll pull the caiman out of the water.
Shit out the water. Yeah,
fuck you. You got the advantage of water. No, fuck you. Those cats are fucking scary, dude.
They're intense.
Scary shit.
Dove into the water. There's 2 videos. There's this one where he runs along the bank and grabs one, and then there's this one where he's like up on,
jumps in the water,
dives into the water, bro, and then fucking comes out with a damn alligator or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean,
it's intense.
I thought that it was just. I was like, okay, I get it. These caiman are quite a bit smaller than how big American alligators and crocodiles and Nile crocodiles, saltwater crocodiles.
Bro, that thing was still about 6 feet.
Oh yeah, well, caiman will get up to about 6 feet. That's probably about as big as they get, I would say, and I could be wrong on that. But I thought, okay, they're killing these younger caiman, up to 6 foot. The cat probably still has weight on it, maybe, and it definitely has, the tactical advantage. What I'm talking about. You're sitting in a tree. I don't even know if fucking crocodiles and shit like that can look up. I mean, I'm sure they can if they raise their head. But if they're looking on the ground and they're fucking laying down on a beach somewhere, they're not thinking about what's in the tree because I mean, how many times do you see that happen? It's a rarity. I've only seen 2 videos where it's happened. Take that back, 3. Because what I'm getting to is that I thought that jaguars were just doing it because the caimans were smaller and they could handle them. Leopards do the same fucking thing. Leopards will jump in the fucking waters with crocodiles, and they'll snatch the young crocodiles right out of the water and fuck you and take it right off. And the bigger crocodiles don't even know what happened. They're not fast enough to get over there and stop it.
Yeah.
And they probably wouldn't because they probably don't give a shit. It's a fucking dinosaur world in the water with those. Yeah. But yeah, dude.
Well, they're fucking dinosaurs.
Scary. Yeah.
Crocodiles are dinosaurs.
Yeah, no kidding.
No doubt about it.
No fucking kidding. Yeah, and they're fucking scary, no doubt. Fuck, I was gonna say something because I wanted to mention something, but I'm brain farting right now. I hope, back to the point we were making in the beginning, I definitely hope the fucking mics are working better for this one. The video will probably be uploaded tonight. Eventually, I want to go live. I want to stream. I think we had another one of those days where it's just classic. I like having you and I on here because I feel like we talk better. Like we can bring up any fucking topic and go, back and forth. But the goal is to eventually have guests. So after this video, if the sound and everything sounds good with this video, I would like to, anybody watching, I think I'm going to reach out to some people, see if some local talent and cool, clever guys want to come on here and chit chat and shoot the shit with us and see how you guys like it, because I would definitely like to make the show more interesting and not just be us getting on here every morning and bullshitting. And from time to time, even if it is us, I would definitely like to bring topics up.
Yeah.
I love bullshitting, but I definitely would like to bring up topics so that people who don't fucking care about what we think about lions and tigers can come on and hear us talk about some shit that maybe they care about. So that relies on us, but it also relies on you guys. So if you're watching this and you're watching all the way through to the end and you hear me talking about, wanting to get you guys more involved, comment below this video, send me some DMs on Instagram, send me some messages on Facebook. Do the same for him. I'll give you guys the handles for all those when I upload the video. But give us some topics that you guys want to talk about, because we have a lot of topics that we like talking about, but you guys may not be so interested in it like we are. So comment some things you want to talk about. Comment some things you want our opinion on. And if you do comment and you got questions, we will answer them on the show. And the next episode, you can definitely jump on and hear the answer to those questions. So with that being said, I think I'll let you go and let you get to work, and I'll get on posting some pictures and get some stuff uploaded to get you guys interested in this episode. And we will see you back here tomorrow morning. Thank you, guys.
Sounds good. And the magic of it is, dude, when you're saying this, I'm going to have your @name coming up and my @name coming up too on Instagram and on Facebook.